the Community Health Education Consultant at Horizon NJ Health, and welcome to the second Roots to Prevention Family Cooking Demo. First, I'd like to thank our meeting host, Parkside Business and Community in Partnership, for bringing us all together today. What is Roots to Prevention? I know you're probably asking. But Roots to Prevention is a collaboration of different organizations like Parkside Business and Community in Partnership, Horizon NJ Health, Rowan University, I Create, and many others. We're focusing on reducing the causes of chronic illness and disease like diabetes, high blood pressure, as well as some cancers that are affecting the Camden City community. But really not only Camden City, right? Wherever you're joining in from, we know that this is an issue that's affecting many different areas. Roots to Prevention believes that a healthy household is one that has the knowledge, which I hope to bring to you today, income, and access to fresh fruits and vegetables as part of your daily diet. Roots to Prevention offers garden workshops, food bucks vouchers, and an opportunity to create an income. So I know you're excited. I could see you guys all on the edge of your seat and you're wondering, where can I get this information? So I believe that Travis has entered into the chat a link to the Roots to Prevention website, and he's also sharing that with you now. Okay, so you can head. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Is there anything else that you wanted to share, Travis?
Yeah, so for all of you on this live chat that are not already members of our advisory board, we do have an advisory board mailing list that keeps everyone updated with our programs and new initiatives. And we also we have bi-weekly Zoom meetings that are held with our advisory members where we get to talk about issues and initiatives that really any topic that any resident would like to bring up. It's more of an open forum as well. So if you are interested in joining our mailing list or joining any of the advisory board meetings, if you don't mind pasting your email address to the Roots to Prevention chat in the Zoom, I will add you to our mailing list and we can go from there. So thank you.
Okay, great. So when you have a moment, please take a minute or two, head over to the Roots to Prevention website to get more information. So the family cooking demo is just one of the Roots to Prevention initiative to get you and your families involved in healthy foods. And again, I know you're asking, how do we do that? Well, we're looking for volunteers such as yourselves to accept the challenge to prepare a healthy meal using ingredients that I'm sure most of you already have in your home. And for more details, right? And to sign up for the next event or future events, again, head over to the Roots to Prevention website. I also want to take a moment to mention that one of our partners, I Create, developed the Teaspoon of Love cookbook. And so Kenny, if you are available, can you enter the link for in the chat? So I encourage you all to check that out as well. And this family cooking demo offers many benefits, as I've already mentioned, but one more that I wanted to add is that our partner, Rowan University, has offered an opportunity for not only those who are taking part in the family cooking demo, but also any of you who are joining today, any of the participants today, you have an opportunity to meet one-on-one for a complimentary session with a Rowan University student who is in her final stages, of their nutrition and dietetics program, to meet with them to discuss nutrition and healthy eating options. So if you are interested in taking advantage of this one-on-one Zoom session with one of the students from Rowan University, again, you can always enter your information in the chat. You can either direct chat myself or even Travis, or more, even better, go to the Roots to Prevention website. I believe that there's a form online. Is that correct, Travis?
The form is in the works right now, and if anyone is interested for now, I'm going to post my chat or my email in the chat, and you can email me and I will connect you and we will go from there.
Perfect. Thank you. So our next family food cooking demo will be March 18th. So I just wanted to mention that now in case you're not, you have to hop off anytime during the next session. So yeah, and if you have any questions, please let me know. You can unmute yourself. You can enter it into the chat. We're here to, answer any questions that you might have. Okay.
How do we get the I Create cookbook?
So I realized, hello everyone, my name is not pop up on the Zoom account. My name is Travis Spots and I work as the Roots to Prevention coordinator. I apologize if I have not made that clear already. Normally we provide them to just Camden residents for free. If you are a Camden resident, we can coordinate offline here and I can figure out how it would be easiest if you would like to pick it up, or I can drop it off. We've done either or. It's really just to coordinate one-on-one with you and I, and we can figure it out. I just pasted my email into the chat box, so you can send me a message there, and we can have a phone conversation sometime, email messages, whatever is easiest.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Anyone else? Okay, perfect. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Ed, who is going to provide you some information on NJ Family Care, his work in the community. Ed?
Got it. Thank you so much, Yvette. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Edgar Osorio from Horizon NJ Health. You guys can call me Ed. I am a community health representative for Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield in New Jersey. What that simply means is I am a field rep that acts as a liaison when it comes to, or I'm a liaison between the company and yourselves when it comes to insurance. What I mainly do is I ask people if they are currently insured. For those who are not insured or looking to be insured, I work with the Medicaid aspect of Horizon NJ Health. So usually what happens is before Corona, I used to go out and do a lot of marketing when it comes to helping people enroll into Medicaid. It's a simple 15-minute application. It's completely free to the public, but I just am here to help you out and make sure that you can get enrolled and learn and understand about your benefits when it comes to Horizon NJ Health. For anyone that's on the call right now that is looking to get insured or is not sure if they do qualify for free health insurance from the state, which is the Medicaid program, you feel free to contact me at the end, or we can get your contact and we'll arrange a time and period where you guys can speak with me and we'll see if we can get you signed up. Right here, you'll have our contacts below. There are 4 of us. I'm the one that's in charge of Camden, Mercer, Burlington, and bits of Gloucester County. And pretty much what I was going to give you a small little presentation, but it's not too large. But basically, there's 3 ways of going about it when you can apply for NJ Family Care. The first one is actually going on to njfamilycare.org. Right there, in itself, you can apply online. And you would be able to finish the application within 15 minutes. If it is a little bit troubling for you, if you don't have internet access or you don't have a computer, the next step over would be to go to your local Board of Social Services. There you would be able to apply in person and have a representative go over the information with you so that way you understand as far as like what you are entitled to and also what type of documents you would have to present to NJ Family Care. Now, based on what the circumstances now, there are plenty of offices that are not open to the public, or if not, they have all their staff working from home. So that's why we are here to step in to say, we're here to help you guys. We're here to help the community. If you guys want to or feel more comfortable calling me on my cell right here, you'll be able to get in contact with me. I can set up an appointment or we can do it over the phone. And I'll explain to you the entire application process and what it takes. Once someone fills out everything, it usually takes up to 30 to 40 days for the state to process it fully for you guys to get the insurance that you need. Again, this is just pretty much the basis of everything that I do for the company. And if you guys have any further questions or are a little confused as far as your benefits or you're looking to replace your card, I'll definitely have my contact up on the screen so that way you guys can call me, text me, and we can have a chit chat over what your situation is and how we can help. Thank you guys so much for having me here. Yvette, you can go ahead and take it over. We will see you guys soon.
All right. Thank you, Edgar. So I know that we're going to share lots of information with you today. I think most importantly, you want to make sure that even if you don't absorb it all, you have a way to reach out to us. Okay, so make sure that you jot down the information in the chat or Edgar's information from the screen right here. So you might remember last week, or should I say, for those of you who are new and joining us for the first time, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, thank you. We do appreciate it. That lets us know that what we're doing maybe is working and you're sharing that information with others. So last week I mentioned a little bit about preventative health. And so for those of you who are new, just going to kind of review some of that information. And I want to point out that you can see on the flyer that I'm showing you right now, across the top, it has different age ranges. And then along the side, it has different, in this case, it could be screenings, recommendations. But what I wanted to note was that at different stages within our life, your doctor is going to make recommendations for different tests or screenings. And so I just wanted to point that out. And where you see that it's blue, it just means that the screening or test doesn't occur till a little later on in life. Okay. So preventative health is about making sure that you have all the tools that you need to really live your best life, to be as healthy as possible. It includes things like a routine well visit. Some people may call it a physical or annual exam. But this is an opportunity for you to schedule an appointment with your doctor that is if you have insurance, it is a covered service, no out-of-pocket expense, but it's really the time where you get to communicate, build a rapport with your doctor. During this time, he will check, your blood pressure, your heart rate. He will check to see if what your BMI or body mass index is, right? Which determines whether or not you are at a healthy weight for your height and your age. Okay. He will talk to you about maybe getting some lab work done. That lab work is important because it will give the doctor more information about what might be going on inside of you. We all know you can't judge a book by its cover, right? So that blood work that you might have to get is really important. But I do want to mention during this past year, many people have missed their annual visit, not only for themselves, but also for their children, which means that they likely also missed some vaccines that were scheduled. And this, the pandemic has really thrown everybody off schedule. But I do want to make sure that if you're not feeling well, call your doctor, find out what options you have to meet, right? Because they're meeting with patients the same way you and I are meeting today, virtually. In some cases, if somebody doesn't have the video capability, they are doing a phone conference, right? But please don't skip your annual exam, or try not to. Keep those visits because it's the things that you can do within your control to try to stay healthy. So As I mentioned, at different stages in our life, there are going to be different recommendations. For instance, women should get breast cancer screenings starting anywhere between the age of 35, 40, but that's going to depend on our risk. You know, whether it's a breast cancer screening or colorectal cancer screening, or even prostate cancer screening. We know that the risks change based on our family history. And what does that mean? That means that when we go to the doctor, they have you complete a form that asks you questions about maybe your parents, your siblings, and those questions are really key. And so I'm going to ask you to try to be as honest about them as possible, because that is a tool your doctor will use to be able to come up with a health plan for you, right? Ultimately, it's about making sure that you're getting the best care possible. And if you have or know that you have a family history of maybe diabetes or high blood pressure, mark it on your chart, because this is how your doctor's going to know that maybe you should be screened for a certain condition earlier in life. For example, if a man has a father or brother that had prostate cancer, that is something that you want to note, because instead of being screened or usually around the age of 50 or so, they will start that screening earlier. And it's really important for African-American males as well as Hispanic men. Okay. So that initial visit, as I mentioned, is really key to your overall wellness, making sure that you're going for that, that visit, as well as going to get an eye exam every year, going to the dentist twice a year, and then trying to make sure that you're keeping up with different vaccines. Again, as we get older, your doctor is going to make different recommendations about certain vaccines that can help prevent cancers, like the HPV vaccine, vaccines that can help protect you against shingles, and so on and so forth. Okay. So like I said, I know that it's a lot of information, and I'll be more than happy to share this flyer with you if you'd like. Feel free to enter in the chat that you'd like me to share it with you. Okay. And honestly, speaking of vaccines, I do want to point out that I know a lot of people are now scheduling, or maybe have already had a COVID vaccine, or maybe know someone who had the vaccine. And I want to mention that it's still important that even if when you get the vaccine, or if you have the vaccine, it is still important that you follow safety protocols. And what does that mean? Making sure that you're still social distancing, making sure that you're wearing a mask, and making sure that you are washing your hands. Okay, those are habits, a good hygiene habits that you can continue to follow, and we'll have to follow for some time, right? Because the way we can all stay safe and protected is obviously by getting vaccinated, but there's still certain measures that we have to continue until that actually happens. Okay. I do want to point out that when you get vaccinated, although you might have heard some of this information already. I was fortunate enough to be able to get my parents an appointment, and they were vaccinated recently, but they do require you to wait at the location where you get vaccinated for a period of about 15 minutes. Okay. And that's just to make sure that you don't have any kind of reaction to the vaccine. All right. So, if you do have any questions, again, feel free to unmute yourself or ask it in the chat. Okay, so moving on. Last time we met, you may remember that I mentioned a little bit about eating healthy on a budget, as well as covering the meal plate meal plan, which you can find a lot of information online at choosemyplate.gov. One of the things I always like to remind people that if you are somebody just getting started, trying to figure out what those healthy foods might be, check out the website, because they now have a new feature where you can enter your age and your height and your weight, and it will generate a meal plan for you and give you some really good examples. Okay, but quickly, I would like to just review what the My Plate Meal Guide is. It includes the 5 different food groups that you see noted here, like grains, things like bread, pastas, and yeah, who doesn't love pasta, right? Oatmeal. But more importantly, when you're eating grains, you want to make sure that that half of your grains consist of whole grains, things like whole wheat pasta, uh, whole, excuse me, things like quinoa is a whole grain, farro is another whole grain. There are many whole grains that you can find in the supermarket. I think a lot of people are a little scared to try something new, but I encourage you to do so because whole grains really help with your digestive system. Eating that more fiber helps to move things along, making sure nothing stays in there, reducing your risk for colon cancer. But you know, it acts as like a scrub for our digestive system. So more importantly, the only way you're going to know how much fiber is in a food you're eating is to read the nutrition label. Okay, so we're going to touch on that a few more times, but just a reminder, right? I know that going food shopping these days for some might be a little scary, but while you're home, just grab maybe some of those foods that you eat often and look at the nutrition label to see how much sugar is in the food, how much sodium, how much protein, how much fiber, right? All that information is going to be really helpful for you to make better decisions about the foods that you're going to be eating. Second part of the food group is our proteins, things like fish and chicken, even beef and pork. So I tell people, it's the best thing to do is just have a variety, a diet that includes a lot of different foods. Okay, it doesn't always have to be chicken and fish, and you can get protein from other sources like eggs, beans, lentils, as well as greens. Okay, so if you're somebody who leans towards vegetarian or maybe vegan, right? Sometimes people worry that they're not getting enough protein, but most of us usually are. Also, vegetables. Try to make half of your plate fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables come in a variety of different colors, and primarily because the colors means that they're giving us different vitamins and minerals. And so I encourage you to pick those fruits and vegetables that are usually in season because they will have the most nutritional value. Things like peppers and onions. Peppers are very colorful. Onions are a great way to add flavor to foods. Garlic, right? And they actually have some antibacterial products to them. So I do encourage you to try cooking with these fruits, with these vegetables to add flavor to your food instead of adding things like salt to the food. Right? We know that salt can contribute to high blood pressure or hypertension, as your doctor may refer to it. So making sure that the foods that you're eating contain the least amount of sodium, right? That's how it's labeled on a nutrition label. Sodium, which is the same thing as saying salt. So making sure that you're consuming foods that had the least amount of salt, right? When you prepare foods at home, you get to control how much salt and how much sugar you might add to it. Right? So I mentioned fruits, and I know for some people it might seem a little, it might be different to add fruit to a savory dish, right? But it's a great way just to, again, kick it up a notch and add a little bit more flavor. I love to add fruits to my salads. So some people wouldn't ever even consider that, but I don't know, I like that. And I'm not a big fan of dressing, so I think it just adds something a little different. And then the last group is the dairy, right? But dairy tends to be one of those things that can make people have an upset stomach or upset their digestive system. And so although dairy does provide things, vitamins like minerals like calcium and vitamin D, you can get calcium from greens, as I mentioned before, as well as protein. But things like spinach and broccoli are a great source of calcium. Okay, so I know that we talked a little bit about food, and we've talked about how you can stay healthy. And the thing is that what a lot of people don't realize is that food is medicine, and it is important for us to start thinking about the foods that we're putting into our bodies, because if we are purchasing foods that have added sugars or added salts, right, when we consume them, they become part of us as well. Although we always encourage people to buy fruits and vegetables that are fresh, frozen is an option, as well as canned. But again, you want to make sure that you're reading the nutrition label, making sure that it doesn't have added ingredients that can, make it unhealthy, right? If you're purchasing vegetables that come in some kind of sauce, that usually has sodium in it, and then it defeats the purpose, right, of having those vegetables. So although it is still an option, meaning frozen as well as canned, just be careful that it doesn't have, like I said, those added ingredients. So before we move on to the cooking video, I do want to share two statements with you that people have shared with me about their food situation. The two statements are: we worried whether our food would run out before we got money to buy more, and the food we bought just didn't last and we didn't have money to get more. So I'm going to ask you, for your household, was that either of those two statements ever often true, sometimes true, or never true for your household in the past 12 months? If so, I want you to know that there are many resources in your community that you may not be aware of, and no one needs to go hungry. There are ways that we can connect you to those resources. And although I know it might be a sensitive topic, I encourage you to connect with me offline so that I can provide you with that information. Okay. So on that note, I am going to stop sharing my screen. Let's see, here we go. And I'm going to pass it off to Kenny from iCreate. And he's going to share with you some more information with the family cooking video. Kenny?
Hey, everybody. Once again, we appreciate you guys for joining us tonight. So I'm going to get right into the family video and we can enjoy.
First thing you want to do before you're preparing any food, wash your hands. Clean hands, the most important part about cooking, because your hands are your first set of tools. Make sure you wash it real good, scrub them between your fingers. This is also the most important thing that you need to do for food safety. Alright, hands are clean. Clean, dry towel. Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of A Teaspoon of Love Cooking Challenge. My name is Shelly, your host for today. I am a home chef from Camden, New Jersey, and also the creator of Kitchen Cabinet Spice Blends, coming to a kitchen near you, so look out for that. And enough about me, let's get into the challenge. Wow, so I'm so excited to be doing this 15-minute challenge. I am a huge fan of Chopped, and I plan to be the Chopped champion one day, so this is gonna get me prepared. So I have no idea what ingredients I'm going to be using, but hey, we just going to get into it. All right, here we go. Okay. Can do a lot. Oh, this is exciting. We have some good ingredients here. We have some broccoli, some onions, some bell pepper, tomatoes, carrots. This is definitely a veggie garden harvest. Some of these ingredients you would commonly find growing in a garden in your own backyard. We have some broccoli here, which is a good source of fiber, but be careful because it can give you gas. We have some celery here, excellent source of, it's an antioxidant. It's also a diuretic. It can help cleanse you out. Everybody need a good cleanser from now and again because we eat a lot of food that can back us up and we don't want that. So garlic and onion, two staple ingredients that I cook with a lot. They go in almost everything. They're antifungal, antibacterial. They're definitely good for when you're sick, you got the sniffles, gonna help open you up. Pungent ingredients, that's what they're good for, opening you up. So that's just a little bit of information about some of the ingredients that we have, and let's just get into the chefing these things up. All right, so based on the ingredients we have here, I'm thinking that I'm going to do like a stew kind of jambalaya mix with the rice and the vegetables. That'll be good. So first you want to start off dicing your vegetables. And I like to take, this is what you call the membrane and the seeds. Take that out. Important, knife skills. Anybody out there, any children especially, looking to become a chef, knife skills are important. Cut that down small because it's going to cook faster. That's a tip. Anytime you're cooking in a rush and you're using fresh ingredients, especially vegetables, bell peppers, onions, the smaller you dice them, the faster they cook. All right, now, first thing I should have did was get the rice to them, but because it's instant, turn our fire up. Always want to add your rice to boiling water. Get a spoon. Stirring our rice. Make sure it's mixed well. All right, we'll put that to the side. We'll bring our rice to a boil and we're gonna cover it. While that's boiling, we're gonna go back to our vegetables. All right, garlic, my favorite ingredient. Having a little trouble, so y'all make sure y'all get the salt. Next time I'll have these pre-filled. Alright, let's get this out of the way. Alright, garlic comes in a bowl. Easiest way to peel garlic, you just take your knife, place it down, the blade away from you, never towards you. And then you just hit it. And now, here's your garlic. We're just going to chop this up nice and fine. So we're going to mince the garlic. And a mince is just a fancy word for finely chopped garlic. Garlic is very pungent, so you don't want to have big chunks of garlic in your food ever at all when you're cooking. All right. When rice is boiling, we're going to turn it down to low. And we're going to cover it. back to our vegetables. I'm just gonna dice the onion up as well. But we're not gonna mince this, we're just gonna dice it. Am I the only person that loves onions and garlic? I put onion and garlic in almost everything that I cook. Almost. Alright. Now let's get a pan going so we can saute up these vegetables. What do we have here? Oh, okay. We got some plant-based butter. Plant-based is always good, healthier substitute for those people who have high cholesterol or who can't eat a lot of dairy. Replace your regular butter with a plant-based butter. Forgot about our carrots and our broccoli, I'm sorry, and bell pepper. We're just gonna add this in. Now because we added the broccoli in, we're gonna add some liquid. I'm gonna cook them. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the center burner because we take everything's higher. Make this one higher burner. Now, the canned tomatoes is going to provide you with the moisture that you need to cook this all down. So it's going to be like a stew, kind of like a veggie stew. Put it over the rice, it'll give you like a jambalaya type feel. This hot sauce is made by children who come to the program, the CFEP program. They have a garden in the back. It's a great initiative they do with the children, South Camden Farms. So this was made right here in Camden from ingredients that were grown right here in Camden. How cool is that? We're definitely putting this in there. Matter of fact, let's add a little bit to it right now. Let it cook into it. A couple little dabs of that. Hot sauce is always good to add to any ingredient. Give it a little spice. Alright, so we'll let that cook down. As soon as our rice is done, we'll be ready to plate. Let's get that. See that? Tomatoes are going to reduce. It's going to be a nice hearty veggie stew. This is something great and easy to make for your family when it's really cold outside. It's packed with a lot of nutrients from all the good vegetables in here. The onions and the garlic. If anybody's feeling under the weather, this would be a great thing for them to eat. And it's vegan friendly. So for all my vegans out there, this is definitely something that you can do. Something quick and easy to make at home. Just with whatever ingredients you have on hand. All right, the rice is looking good. All right, and of course, one last thing. A recipe ain't a recipe if it don't have the kitchen cabinet. Okay? We're gonna add a little bit of splat, and that's gonna bring it all together. A little bit. This is a prized possession. Okay? And that right there is gonna set it off. Dig in. Delicious. It's warm, filling. And who don't like rice and vegetables? Come on. It has been fun. I hope I've risen to the challenge. I just want to say thank you all for being here with me. I had a great time. Kitchen cabinet, look out for it. Coming to a kitchen cabinet near you. Shout out to Teaspoon of Love Cookbook for having me here. Peace and love, everyone. Take care.
So that was that. Shelly, definitely want to say thank you for all your wonderful cooking. And I have to say, I'm sorry all of you guys that didn't get to taste it, but that kitchen cabinet season really kind of pulled it all together. So, so I really, really appreciate you all. Shelly, did you have any thoughts, any comments? How did it feel?
I felt good. I'm excited. That was my first time being in front of the camera, so I was anxious to see how it was all going to turn out. But I knew working with you guys that it would be amazing, and it was. So it was a lot of fun. Thankful for the opportunity.
Oh, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. And we kind of already bragged when we said, listen, the way that she was very informative and knowledgeable, we said you might have to be that person that comes back in season 2, So, anybody out there who is interested or felt like they could kind of one up Shelly, feel free to reach out to Travis and us, and we can see what we can do.
Yeah, that was great, Shelly. Thank you so much. So I'll ask you, is there anything that you think you would have done different, or maybe, any challenges that you experienced?
Um, What I would have done differently, I would have probably scrapped the cans and stuck only with the fresh vegetables that I had. But you know, it was more realistic anyway because a lot of us do have canned vegetables on hand. So, you know, it was good to incorporate them to make it more realistic. But the goal is to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables. However, like you said, can is still an option. It's not the number one option, but it's something that it's a reality of something that we have in our pantry.
I couldn't
So
agree with you more. Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
wish I would. I wish I would have garnished it. I had some oregano on the side, and I was like, "Oh, I could have garnished it and made it pretty." But you know, the chop kitchen when the clock is up is over.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. And, I do want to mention that Shelly didn't include some spices in her dish. And that is another great tip to elevate your meals. A lot of times we tend to cook the same things over and over the same exact way. They get boring and not, we don't want to eat them and our families don't want to eat them. So I think it's great to add spices. And I love the tip that you shared about when you're in a rush, cutting up the vegetables smaller, help them cook faster. Actually, I never even considered that. So that's a great tip. Thank you.
Yeah.
But also include children. If you have children at home, it's a great way to get them interested in food and cooking, and also, they can brag about having prepared a meal or two for the family. So
Absolutely.
just remember that many of the things that I've shared with you today are about food, but starting to make some small changes in your life about what we're eating. It doesn't have to happen overnight, but all those small changes that we make, reducing the amount of sugar and salt, thinking about the portion control, eating a variety of foods, all of that will add up. Okay. And making sure that actually we're moving our bodies, right? Because that's just as important. I know that during these times, people have fallen back on some unhealthy habits, either, binging too much TV, enjoying a little bit too much of our favorite foods, not being physically active. But it's a new year. We can try to get back into our healthier lifestyle. So with that, does anybody else want to share anything or have any questions? No?
So this video will be posted on our Roots to Prevention website that I shared with you guys earlier, and the next installment of this video series will be in 2 weeks at the same time. I hope to see a lot of the same faces then.
Yes, thank you so much for that, Travis. So mark your calendar, Thursday, March 18th at 5:30. We will bring the third Roots to Prevention family cooking demo or challenge. We'll see who has challenged Shelly to cook off maybe. Anyhow, thank you again for joining us and spending your Thursday night with us. Until next time.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
Great job.